What? What? The second Boeing whistleblower has passed away suddenly from a severe infection. Now, we said protect this man at all cost. Protect Joshua Dean at all costs because they were going to come after this man. And we failed this mission. This is absolutely insane news that has just now come out. A second Boeing whistleblower who raised concerns about a supplier who had been ignoring production defects has passed away suddenly at the age of 44 on Tuesday. Anybody still choosing to fly, still continuing to fly at this point are absolutely insane. They are risk takers because I would not put it past Boeing to sabotage an Airbus plane to make themselves look better. Boeing is literally out here whacking whistleblowers soprano style, mafia style. This is the second Boeing whistleblower to pass away in the span of almost 2 months. This comes less than 2 months since John Barnett, the first Boeing whistleblower, was found deceased from a self-inflicted wound on March 9th. Police are still investigating, but this is literally less than 2 months since the first whistleblower, quote unquote, ended his own life. I am still floored by what I am reading. Matter of fact, I was creating a video how they are now saying that the Earth has what appears to be a second moon, a quasi-moon. And this story actually pulled me away from that story. The second Boeing whistleblower passes away suddenly from a severe infection. But I think I got my point across just how shocked I am. So let's go ahead and continue with the article. This article was released by New York Post today, May 2nd at 9:39 a.m. A second Boeing whistleblower who raised concerns about a supplier who had been ignoring production defects has passed away suddenly at the age of 44 on Tuesday. Joshua Dean, a quality auditor at supplier Spirit AeroSystems, previously claimed he was booted in April 2023 from the company after raising concerns about the firm's manufacturing plant in Wichita, Kansas. If you remember, the very first whistleblower, John Barnett, was also a quality auditor as well, and he raised multiple concerns about what Boeing was doing, how they were putting fake parts on planes, how they were putting parts on planes that did not match. They were getting parts from bogus suppliers, and it didn't matter because they want to save time. They want to save money. They didn't care about safety. Some of the things that John Barnett had seen taking place at Boeing were absolutely mind-blowing. Dean's death was confirmed by his heartbroken family in a statement to Seattle Times. They stated, "I am grateful for the prayers of my family and friends for this young man," his aunt Carol Parsons wrote on Facebook. "He passed away yesterday morning, and his absence will be deeply felt. We will always love you, Josh." This reminds me of the movie Godfather 1. After Sonny was taken out, Vito Corleone, he's in the meeting, and he says that, "I am willing to put everything aside, but if anything were to happen to Michael, my second son, if he were to get hit by a bolt of lightning, I'm going to blame the people in this room." Josh Dean passing away is basically Michael Corleone's lightning bolt. And let's just say that Boeing had absolutely no involvement in the deaths of these two whistleblowers. Just how astronomically lucky is Boeing to have two whistleblowers, two men who are speaking out against the company, two quality auditors speaking out about what they've seen, what they witnessed, pass away back to back. That kind of luck just doesn't happen. That kind of luck wouldn't even make a movie realistic. That's why we see in the movies the mafia take these people out, because there's no way, shape, or form these people have such luck that the people speaking out against them would just pass away back to back. What's very weird is that, as per report, Dean's health deteriorated just over 2 weeks ago, marked by breathing difficulties despite aggressive medical intervention, including the use of a ECMO machine, an ECMO machine. Dean succumbed after a few days of struggle. The article continues to state that Dean was among the first to raise alarms about Spirit's leadership potentially overlooking critical manufacturing flaws in Boeing's 737 MAX planes. He meticulously documented his findings, including improperly drilled holes in the aft pressure bulkhead, a component crucial for maintaining cabin pressure. This would be extremely damning to Boeing because remember, they are under criminal investigation when it comes to that 737 MAX plane and that door blowing off after it reached certain altitude. So it makes a lot of sense why Boeing would want to bump some of these whistleblowers off, because they can definitely corroborate what they saw take place at Boeing, and it would not be good whatsoever when it comes to that billion-dollar lawsuit and that criminal investigation with that 737 MAX plane where the door blew off. Just like John Burnett, Dean raised a lot of concerns because an incident like this could potentially end a lot of lives. It could be catastrophic for people flying on these planes. And in April 2023, Spirit terminated Dean's employment, a move he believed was in retaliation for exposing the plane's flaws. This article says that the timing of Dean's demise echoes that of Barnett, who took his own life in March while involved in a lawsuit alleging retaliation for disclosing safety concerns related to the 787 Dreamliner. Now, I did look up Dean's medical condition further. Now, for whatever reason, unexpectedly, he did get unwell and was taken to a hospital after experiencing respiratory difficulties 2 weeks ago. Now, at the hospital stay, he contracted MRSA, a serious bacterial infection, and pneumonia. He required continuous intubation during his hospital stay in Oklahoma City. So not only did he randomly, mysteriously get sick to the point he required a stay at the hospital, but also while he was inside the hospital, he just happened to contract MRSA, MRSA. And while he contracted MRSA, he also contracted pneumonia. Just how lucky is Boeing? But on top of that, CT scans also revealed he may just had a stroke while he was fighting for his life in the hospital. So not only did he contract a serious bacterial infection, pneumonia, on top of this already mysterious random disease that caused him to go into the hospital, but he also had a stroke on top of everything else. I am sorry, at this point, I would not mess with Boeing. Like I said, I would not put it past Boeing to tamper with a Airbus plane. They pretend to be a mechanic for Airbus and come to find out it's actually a mechanic for Boeing. No thank you, I am good. I do not want to be in between a mafia war 40,000 plus feet in the skies. So going back to what Dean accused Boeing of, Dean claimed to have discovered a significant production flaw in Spirit-built 737 MAX parts during an examination in 2022. He even brought up the issue with the highest levels of management, but alleged that nobody paid attention to the problem. Now, if you remember, I covered that story where major airliners were buying bogus parts and putting them on planes, very important parts, such as the engine and turbine blades. They were buying it from bogus third-party manufacturers. Boeing was doing the exact same thing, and these whistleblowers knew about it. They were aware of it. They knew that these parts were not fitting in these planes properly, and they were fired for bringing attention to this. Dean also recognized another issue that resulted in a delivery halt for the company, and this is what caused him to get fired in April 2023. Now, a few months after his departure, Spirit discovered a significant problem with the way 737 MAXs were manufactured. This was the same issue that Dean had originally brought to the firm's attention prior to his dismissal. Dean then launched a safety complaint with the Federal Aviation Administration, alleging a manufacturing fault that Spirit had initially concealed to the FAA, stating, "After I was fired, Spirit AeroSystems initially did nothing to inform the FAA and the public about their knowledge of the aft pressure bulkhead defects," he wrote in his complaint. In response to the lawsuit filed by Spirit stockholders, Dean claimed that the Kansas plant had excessive flaws. Harping back to what John Burnett was saying, the whistleblower that quote-unquote took his own life with a gun, this company had many flaws, and they were all being ignored. Dean also lodged an aviation whistleblower's case with the Department of Labor, claiming wrongful firing and gross misconduct of senior-level Spirit AeroSystems quality managers, reported the Seattle Times. Speaking to NPR in January, he said, "I think they were sending out a message to anybody else. If you are too loud, we will silence you. That is very ominous. And what did they do? What did they do? They silenced both whistleblowers. Wow, like I said, I am still absolutely floored. If Boeing had nothing to do with the death of this man, then the luck at Boeing is just astronomically unrealistic. But I do want to hear from you. Do you think Boeing took this man out, or do you think he just naturally passed away from a sickness, a random sickness? Please do comment in the comment section below. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.